I have been married for 19 plus years. I've always been kind of the sole provider and really just don't feel supported in life, much of in any capacity. And I just wonder at this point with this unhealthy kind of marriage dynamic, is this still salvageable?
Why now? Been doing this for 2 decades. Why now?
Why now? It's been this way for a long time. I think as my kids get closer to being done with school, out of the house, that I'm not going to lose custody of them. And even if I did, it's at a time where it would be okay. I just don't know that as an empty nester, I want to continue being like a mom to him as well.
There you go.
So.
Does he know this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've had so many conversations over the years. And at one point, I kind of laid it down that I really needed more from him. And he got really emotional, and things kind of changed a little bit. And then in the middle of that, my brother was going through a really ugly divorce, and I saw what it kind of did to his kids. And I was like, I don't think I can do that to my kids right now because they have a good dad. He's just not a good partner for me.
Give me some examples of some things you would like to see from him.
So he doesn't really take initiative to help with anything. So like if something needs to get done around the house, he doesn't notice that it needs to be done. Like I finally got, a bunch of clutter removed from my house, out of the house. And, he still didn't notice, hey, the dishwasher still needs to be run or unloaded or, to pick stuff up off the floor, or the kids need to go to the dentist, or the kids need to go to the doctor.
What does he do all day?
I don't know. He says he's busy.
You've been with him 20 years. What does he do?
I don't know. Well, one thing he does is he kind of took on a volunteer role in our community. And so he spends a lot of time like doing that, but it's not like it's a paid position. And one time I actually got a call from my daughter's school. Hey, can you come pick your daughter up? She's ill. And he wasn't answering his phone because he was in a meeting for this. It's like, dude, it's volunteer. Leave, go pick up your child. She's literally around the corner from you, from where you are.
Oh, man. So I have my own opinion on this, okay? And I'm willing to be wrong. So to answer your original question, yes, I believe 99% of marriages are salvageable. That's not true. 95. I don't believe ones where someone's beating the other person up physically. Those are over. But I do believe in people figuring it out and choosing to do something different. I do believe in that. I've been there myself. I believe in it. But it takes both people, and it takes a setting down of ego that is very hard to do. So I can be wrong here, but I look at this as a matter of fidelity. And what I mean by that is it sounds like your husband has been cheating on your household for years through inactivity, through a lack of willingness to engage, through putting volunteer projects to boost his ego above caring for his family. It's an integrity issue. It's a lack of fidelity. It's cheating. It might not be with a romantic partner. He might not be sleeping with somebody, but he is choosing other things to go in front of his household, in front of his marriage. And my only pushback on you would be, and this is, again, very un-Hollywood, very unromantic, but very just the way the world actually is, not the way La La Land told us it should be. Have you sat down and said, I need these things at the house?
I have.
Okay.
He really wanted me to make a list. And I was like, you don't work for me.
Right.
Like, why am I making you like a literal, like he wanted details and all of, just a breakdown. I was like,
all right. So let me, I don't know him, and I struggle with guys like him. Okay. And also, I'll defend him for a little bit, and you can tell me if I'm out to lunch here. When my son was born, I've talked about it on the show, when my son was born, I didn't know how to put on a diaper. I didn't know how to do it. I tried, but I got the message real quick that everything I tried was wrong. Every time I would do the dishes, I would put the dishwasher, empty the dishwasher. There would always be this, like my wife would go back and quote unquote do it right. The lids don't go right there, or they need to be stacked in this order. Why'd you put this thing on top of this? I just knew that everything I tried to do was wrong. And so then it was like, okay, I need you to give me a list of how you want this stuff done. And I know that sounds super annoying and frustrating. But my question to you is, does he have a litany of, if you look back over 20 years, just a long list of not ever really doing stuff right?
He can if he takes an interest in it. The issue sometimes is that he tells me that I'm worrying about things that are not worth worrying about. Like I don't have an opinion as to what is important and isn't.
So is it like I've had this argument with, I've had this argument across the board. I could gladly do the dishes in my house 3 times a week. My wife likes them done 7 times a week. So she can come home and do the dishes 4 times. If we, let's say we were both working, and I can do them 3 times, and she can say, "Hey, I'm doing the dishes way more than you, and I got another full-time job." And really, she is. It's true. But underneath it, we have a values issue, a belief issue. I believe we could do it every 3 days, and she's like, "I don't want to go to bed without them." So when you say like you don't have an opinion over it, or he doesn't think it's a big deal, give me an example of something.
I think, so this one's kind of gross, but like there is the toilet sometimes needs to be cleaned in between when someone is coming in to clean the house. We pay someone to come in and clean the house.
Yes.
They come once a week. So sometimes things need to happen in the in-between.
Correct.
And I don't think, if I point that out, and I do it sometimes, like just once when I'm needing to run out the door and I say, "Hey, can you show some attention to the toilet?" And he's like, "I'll get to it. I have this other thing I have to do first." I'm like, so it's frustrating because I can do all the things, but I'm not going to kill myself to do it. And I would just like for, sometimes for it to be like, "Hey, yeah, no, it's all taken care of. No problem." Or you just go do it and don't make a big deal out of it.
So do you want him to read your mind some?
Not really. I literally, he acts like that's the case, but I am a very super basic person as far as I am so routine, you can tell the clock by what I'm doing. So there is nothing that I'm doing that's new. I've really made it to where everything is pretty streamlined. It's not, if there's dishes in the dishwasher and it looks pretty full, just run it. That's it, and it doesn't have to be, I'm willing to do it if I'm around. And once they've been done, then they need to be put away. But what he'll do is he'll just leave it for 3 days. I'm like, dude, you can't leave the clean dishes in the dishwasher because it didn't dry well enough. You have to just take them out and, and dry them. But this is over 20 years. It's the same things. There's not anything new. He just develops an interest in something that isn't really that pressing, and he decides that he's going to focus on that instead of doing the things that need to be done every day.
And it sounds like there's a disagreement on what things need to be done every day. And it sounds
that is definitely true.
But then you get into they need to be done my way. and then it needs to be done. Okay, well then just give me a list of the things that need to be done your way. And then you go, well, I don't want you to just like give you a list. I want you just to kind of know. And then he says, okay, well, I do know, and someone's going to come clean that toilet in 2 days. I don't want to scrub it. It's disgusting. Somebody blew it up. They'll be here in 2 days. We pay them a bunch of money to come do it. And you see how there's just this, like, it's just a figure eight of an awkward dance going on.
Yeah. No, I can understand. I can see that.
Can I get beneath it all? You don't respect this guy. Why?
He's left me hanging.
Okay. You need to approach it there. Because I think you're going to lose the conversation. I think he's gotten it over the years. I need to be able to read her mind, what she wants when she wants it. And in your head, your routine is ironclad. It's so clear. You can set an atomic clock to it. He clearly doesn't get it. And so it goes back to he should be able to just know my routine. Well, he doesn't. But if he asks you about it, you get frustrated. So we can have that proxy war, fine. The real deal is you don't respect this man. And when your last kid leaves, the thought of spending another 20 or 30 of your best years of your life with someone you don't respect just curdles your stomach, right?
Yeah. He's just, because I can't trust him. I can't trust him to pick me up. You know, I mean, it's just been demonstrated several times that he's just not willing to step up and do that.
Have you sat down and said, I don't respect you because you haven't done anything to earn my respect?
I absolutely did. And a lot of it is he suffers from anxiety.
I do too. You move on with it. You heal and you get on about your life.
To get help from it, he won't do it.
Okay. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a matter of fidelity. Because I told my wife, till death do us part, I'll show up. I'll be here. And that means when things pop up in my life, health issues, emotional health challenges, I got to go do the next right thing to be well so that I can show up like I said I would. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. And that becomes almost like a boundary issue because he literally wants me to call and make the appointment for him.
Yeah. No, he wants you. You've been his mother for 20 years.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like that's my role. So he asked me, well, do you think this or this? Do you think this or this? And I'm like, I would just pick something and go.
Except that when he picks something and goes, you're like, well, why'd you wear that?
No, that I'm well beyond that. Okay. You know, as far as that.
Did you used to be like that?
I've let that go. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to say, like, all of this is earned on both sides. And you might in your head be like, I don't even care what you wear anymore. Just wear something. I'm so sick of the question. And he still remembers the time he felt like he embarrassed you somewhere and you let him know he embarrassed you somewhere. And so he's just going to, all right, cool. I'm just going to ask every time. Which again, he sounds like a high school kid. Not a husband of somebody who's he's not a partner. He's a kid. I guess the question for you, do you have somebody already?
What? Like no.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. I do have, I mean, part of the thing is for the past several years since I decided, well, I'm doing this, but I'm not happy about it. And so I spent several years on what I'll call like the dopamine rush. Like, oh, I'm going to eat this food. I'm going to buy stuff. I'm going to, all of these things. And so especially men, because I'm not really attracted to women, but especially men who showed me care when that's not what I get at home, it does, I do feel that attraction. I crush on peeps that I have no interest in. I would never do that, but it's like, I think there's still a part of me that mourns for that partnership. That's what I thought I was getting.
That's right. So I can't think of a more important step for you guys to take, which is you guys to go sit down with a marriage therapist together. And stop talking about stupid stuff like chores. And I'm calling them stupid. I'm being inflammatory on purpose. Chores are important, and roles are important. All that's important. But y'all have way deeper issues. And here's the thing. Like, you're on a countdown clock. You know, like every job comes in, they're like, all right, it's 1 week till Christmas. I need everybody to plug in. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. Right? That's where you are. You're counting it down. And I don't want you to look at the next 2 or 3 years as just something to endure before you can then go live your life. I want you to have left it all on the table. And right now, behavior's a language. He's choosing other things in front of you. And also, it sounds like he has learned over time there's not really anything he can do that he can win. Have you ever sat down and said, hey, you got to get a job?
Yeah, that was a conversation we had probably like 11, 12 years ago.
Why didn't he get a job?
So he decided he went and talked to people. So he's a big crowdsourcer. Went and talked to all these people, called into all of these other friends. Oh, I need to do this testing for certification. And he couldn't pass the testing. And then, it just kind of like fell away. He hooked up with an old high school friend about a year or so ago. And the guy's like, oh, well, we can get you, you should come talk to my boss, da, 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 da. And he went in and they're like, well, you're really, kind of past an entry-level position, but don't really hold the certification for this other thing. So, and, his whole thing is, oh, well, like all of my friends who have all these great jobs, they're not anything special. I'm special. I have, this many degrees. And all they did was be born to a family that gave them stuff, gave them a company. I'm just like,
so he's delusional. He needs to go to Walmart. Like, he needs to go to Walmart or Costco and throw boxes. He's been out of the workforce for 20 years, 2 decades.
Well, he's probably been out longer than that, because when I married him, he was actually living with his parents. And I didn't realize that meant that, like, he wasn't actually, like, earning enough to be on his own.
Dude, he won the lottery with you. You were a scratch off for him. He got to avoid all of reality. Here's the thing. I think you have to be at an or what? Because I don't know that he can sell. I don't know there's a thing he could do right now to salvage it. He's going to have to become a different person. And I think out of fairness to him, I don't know that anybody can become the person that you want him to become overnight. So you're going to have to take ownership in your part in creating this. Meaning, he had his head as a stay-at-home dad, and you had this in your head as a sole provider, and we talked about it, and he's never been able to do it right or do it enough, and he's had no purpose for 2 decades. Like, it's just, you get what I'm saying? It's just a big thing of molasses. It's just goo. And I think somebody, and it's probably going to be you, because he doesn't have any initiative, and if he did poke his head up, you might whap it down. Like, you need to say, all right, all this is going to stop. All this is going to stop. Here's what I need. I need to respect my husband. I need you to have a job. I need no complaints, no whining, no this and that. I need you to go to Walmart. I need you to go to Costco. I need you to go get a job throwing boxes. I need you to work to participate in this family. And I need to take ownership for I've let the way I wanted it done override our relationship for 20 years. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell him I'm sorry for beating you up for doing the dishes every other day instead of every day. I know we hire someone to come clean the toilets, and I should have told you I expect you to clean them on all the days in between, or whatever the thing is. Then you got to be real clear about what you want in your house. Real clear about what you want in your house. And that's going to start with being real clear about what you want inside your own chest. I think your marriage can be saved. I think you go and build something amazing. but you're going to have to start with practicing peace.